Good evening. Good evening. We are not here tonight to add to your collection of techniques, nor to polish your superstitions with spiritual words. Words are only auxiliaries. Words sometimes are an interference. My conversation is usually limited to, I will help you. If we can agree upon that presence, not verbosity, then the night, with all its shadows, begins to yield. Not because we have learned one more ritual, but because omnipresence is the night's very substance. Do you see? We live in a culture that never sleeps and so cannot rest, apps that track the heart, feeds that surface, calamities at midnight, charms on the nightstand, playlists for anxiety, algorithms that say, if you don't check, you won't be safe. This is the modern night fear, 1,000 small obediences to the belief in two powers, one power for the day, another for the dark, one God for the sanctuary, another God named data. And so we tumble into bed defended by methods but unacquainted with presence. The result, paranoia dressed in prayer clothes. I would spare you that burden. The journey we are taking is from ritualized defense to realized omnipresence, calm, demonstrable, repeatable, not sensational, not dramatic. I and the Father are one, said the Master, and tonight we let those words be a doorway to actual experience, not a slogan tossed against the window. The core question is simple. How are we spiritually safe without living in spiritual paranoia? The answer is simpler still, by ceasing to argue for powers besides God and resting in what is. Not by night work, but by quiet recognition, not by chanting away the dark, but by recognizing that the light is its substance. Do you follow that? You will not be asked to adopt a schedule of spiritual gymnastics. You will be invited to witness fruitage by your life experience, by the fruitage quiet sleep, unforced peace, the cessation of rehearsing disaster. By these you will know that you are not guarding the night. The presence is appearing as your very being, standing watch without effort. If the problems are quickly and easily solved in consciousness, if you lay down and sleep and rise, as the psalmist said, for the Lord sustained me, then there is no question. If not, it only means more ripening, more listening, less talking. Scripture gives us our bridge not as a charm, but as consciousness. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. The wing is not outside, not above, not a hovering talisman. The wing is the one as you. Realized, it is protection. Not realized, it is only a verse on a wall. Tonight, we shift from defending against the night to recognizing that the night is embraced in God's isness. We will speak a little, then we will listen much. Presence will do the protecting. I will help you. Let us go directly to the verse that has comforted generations and too often been reduced to a charm. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. This is not a formula, it is a map of awareness. Dwelling is not relocating your body, it is recognizing identity. Abiding under is not crouching beneath an external canopy. It is awakening to the fact that omnipresence is your very being. Do you see? Under is not spatial, it is identity. The wing is not above you, it is the one as you realize. It is protection. Failing realization, it is only poetry. When the psalmist speaks of shadow, do not think of dimness, think of presence, so complete that it casts its own assurance. The kingdom of God is within you, said the Master. Under his wings is within his isness as your consciousness. God is manifest as individual being, God appearing as you. I and the Father are one. Not two powers negotiating the night, the one is all. Take this further. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear it addressed not to a distant figure only, but to the one hearing these words. not as flattery, as fact. When the Father beholds his own appearing, he is well pleased, for there is nothing else to behold. If that is so, and it is, then what is there to defend? What is there to brace against? There is no second power lurking after sundown. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. Omnipresence is not diurnal. It does not punch out at dusk. Omnipresence is. Do you follow that? Therefore, Psalm 91 ceases to be a night ward you attach to your doorpost and becomes consciousness you rest in. Say it once if you must to prime the pump, but then let it say you. Let it become awareness that dissolves the pretense of outside threat. The test of whether you have moved from verse to consciousness will not be in your eloquence or in the number of times you repeat the psalm, but in fruitage by your life experience, by the fruitage quiet sleep, ease with no rehearsed arguments, the simple human sign that you lay down and sleep and rise, for the Lord sustained me. Keep the standard high and simple. If you can put your head upon the pillow and feel no necessity to bargain with God, if you can sense a gentle withinness that needs no words, then the wing is realized. If rest comes without drama, if the mind does not pace the hallway of tomorrow, then the promise has become consciousness. If not, we are not condemned. We are instructed, less talking, more listening, less recitation, more recognition of is. For protection is not an achievement, it is acknowledgement. Harmony is, life is, love is, omnipresence is, I am. And this I is the beloved in whom the Father is well pleased. Let that be the wing, and let it be enough. Let us interrupt the habit that has been masquerading as devotion. Lights left burning in every room as if photons could outshout fear, lists taped to the nightstand, locks checked, windows latched, stove confirmed, then checked again. Warfare prayers set to chime like alarms on the hour, as though God needed reminding to be God at midnight. Verses pinned above the doorpost, bottles of oil at the ready, words loaded like arrows and loosed into the darkness. This is fear dressed as faith. It is the belief that if we do enough, say enough, time it just right, the night will concede. Do you see? Here is the logic hiding beneath it. Technique assumes two powers. Every ritual silently enthrones a second something to be managed, warded off, negotiated. Two powers, one called God and one called danger. And once you grant a second, you must feed it with vigilance, you must keep night watch with nerves, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Be still, and know that I am God. The Master does not say, take more thought for your life. He says, take no thought. To multiply words is to multiply thought, and thought cannot accomplish what realization alone fulfills. Let me give you the freedom sentence and let it stay with you. Protection is not a technique, it is the realization of omnipresence. If omnipresence is, then what outside of it remains to oppose? If I and the Father are one, then who is outside to be kept out? When you hear the inner insistence, do something more, say it again, check it again, that is hypnotic suggestion. The arm of flesh, a rope mistaken for a snake, drop it. Resist not evil. Starve the loop by refusing its food. Repetition, checking, bargaining. In the night, fewer words. Let the tongue rest. If you are called, keep your conversation to its essence. I will help you. Not a lecture, not a recital of truths tossed like pebbles at a window. I will help you. Then be still. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, shut the door on techniques. Open the ear to presence. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. Give no thought to darkness. Regard the pressure to perform as mesmerism only impersonal, without law, without substance. Do you follow that? Practice becomes beautifully simple. When the urge rises to reassure yourself with one more ritual, refuse the bait. Turn within to the stillness that already is. 10 seconds of honest knowing are more potent than 10 pages of formula. Perfect love casteth out fear, not perfect phrasing, not perfect timing. Love is, omnipresence is, I am. And if fruitage is needed to convince you, let the night itself testify by your life experience, by the fruitage. If sleep comes quietly, if you rise without the residue of strain, then realization, not ritual, has done its work. If not, it is not failure, it is instruction. Less doing, more being. Less saying, more seeing. If not techniques, then what? Identity and isness. God is manifest as individual being, God appearing as you. Harmony is not achieved after you have performed. Harmony is the nature of is. We will not add to your methods. We will remove the belief in a second power until nothing remains but the one recognized. And in that one, the night has no opposite to argue for. Now we take the word as and let it do its holy work. God, the invisible, appearing as the visible individual, no intermediary, no gap. God is manifest as individual being. That is not poetry. It is the architecture of your safety. When the clock blinks 2 a.m., the mind says, now you must do something. Now you are exposed. But the Christ says, I and the Father are one at 2 a.m. As surely as at noon, oneness does not dim when the street lights come on. Oneness is not a daytime privilege. Oneness is the fact, do you see? Identity work is not self-improvement, it is sight. Look back of the eye. Where a frightened self-image seems to sit up in bed and calculate outcomes, behold the Christ of God. Thou seest me, thou seest the Father, for the Son is the Father's appearing. Not a second being alongside God, not a separated creature appealing for help, but the one expressed. If you will make even a brief, honest turn within at that hour and refuse to accept a second life beside God, you will discover presence not as an aura around you, but as you, not a perimeter of grace, but the very identity of the sleeper and the waker. In him we live and move and have our being, not near him, not borrowing him being. Drop comparison. We are not trying to become safe. Becoming is the language of separation. The one as you is safety realized. Hear the assurance as addressed to your present identity. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Let it address you now, not as flattery to a personality, but as the Father, recognizing his own life as the one hearing these words. When that is allowed, there is nothing left to brace. The wing is not extended to you, it extends as you. Abiding is not crouching under. It is realizing you are the very place of God's abiding. Do you follow that? Not God in you, but God as you. There goes the place for fear. What can fear attach to when there is not a second? What law can operate against the one? Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, and behold instead the impersonal nothingness of suggestion, the arm of flesh saying, prove yourself, defend yourself, repeat your ritual. Drop it, be still. In that stillness, the isness of as becomes felt reality. The night is not a field of contest. It is the stage on which oneness quietly appears as your untroubled rest. Let me tell you what this looks like by fruitage. A student woke at 2:13 a, heart racing, mind bargaining. She remembered nothing clever, only this: God the invisible is appearing as me. She looked back of the eye and would not accept a second self to protect. Beloved Son, well pleased, she heard within, and with no further speech, the pulse softened. No drama, no contest, no victory lap, only sleep returning as naturally as a tide, by your life experience, by the fruitage. If the problems are quickly and easily being solved, even the problem called midnight dread, then there is no question. As is the doorway. Step through, and the watcher and the watched are one presence. The night remains, but as God's own infinitude, and there is no outside to it. In this realization, protection is not added, it is recognized. Harmony is. Omnipresence is. I am, and the I that is the Father's appearing as you. Now, let us take the second word and let it do for practice what the first did for identity. Is. We are not manufacturing safety, we are recognizing what already is, present, not future. Fact, not achievement. You are never trying to make reality be, you are letting reality be recognized. Do you see? Think in the simplest way. You are not trying to make 2 times 2 be 4, you are realizing it is 4. If your mind is agitated, you can chant 4 for an hour and it will not increase 4ness. A single clear seeing settles the matter. So with God, so with safety, so with the night. Be still and know that I am God. Not become, not persuade. No. Let the imprint be clean and brief until it grows quiet within you. Harmony is, life is, love is, omnipresence is, I am. Not as a parade of words to hypnotize yourself, but as the settled recognition of what cannot be absent. If omnipresence is, then there is no circumference outside of it. If I am before Abraham was, I am then the self you are counting as vulnerable is only the Father's appearing. Do you follow that? Night application is simply this. The room, the house, the neighborhood are not a field of multiple minds in contest. They are the one presence showing forth as place, as form, as quiet continuity. In Him we live and move and have our being, not near Him, not protected by Him from something else, but in Him as Him appearing. Let the walls, the windows, the very air be held, not gripped, held as God's own infinitude manifest. Just that, a single sentence sincerely realized outweighs a page of anxious speech. Omnipresence is the only presence. Say it once to prime the pump, then listen until the sentence says you. Do not sit up to work the night into order. There is no night work in isness. There is recognition. There is resting in the fact that the one cannot be opposed because the one has no second beside it. Lo, I am with you always is not a travel promise. It is the statement of is that has no hour off. Therefore, when the mind reaches for more saying, more arranging, more defending, return to is, harmony is, omnipresence is, I am, stop. Let the stillness confirm it. If the one is, what then is fear's status? It is without law, without person, without substance, merely the arm of flesh, a moving shadow looking for a second power to certify it. Deny that certification, it thins and passes. We will take that up more fully. But for now, let is do its holy work. The sign will not be excitement. It will be fruitage. You will lay you down and sleep. You will awake. For the Lord sustained you not by effort, but by what already is. Now let us be exact about the noise that knocks on the wall of the mind at night. It is not a person, not a law, not a substance. It is suggestion, impersonal, universal, persistent, a belief in 2 powers seeking your certification. That is all. Hypnotism, not an entity. Mesmerism, not a cause. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Do you see? The appearance is a rehearsed picture. Righteous judgment is spiritual discernment that knows there is no second beside the one. Consider the parade that the dark loves to produce. a floorboard settling that says intruder, a headline flashing in memory that says it could be here, a nightmare that leaves the pulse announcing something is after you, snake in the rope, the non-existent white poodle, streetcar tracks that seem to meet at the horizon. They are phantoms borrowing your believing to obtain a life they do not possess. The prophets called it the arm of flesh, noise without law. With him is an arm of flesh, but with us is the Lord our God. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Shadow, not substance. Do you follow that? Here is the discipline, and it is merciful because it is simple. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. Drop it. Refuse to argue with a mirage. The moment a scene presents itself for your defense, do not build a case for or against it. Say within, cleanly and once, this is only the arm of flesh, nothingness. Then turn from the scene to the isness we have been resting in. It is I. Be not afraid. The Master did not converse with waves. He beheld I. Resist not evil. Starve it by disinterest. You do not fight hypnotism, you awaken. Now, depersonalization is not denial. It is careful truth-telling that frees. We are not hardening our hearts against people. We are softening our gaze until we behold the invisible source as the only cause. Unsee human evil, yes, but also unsee human good when it tempts you to make a god of favorable appearances. Every good and perfect gift is from above, from the unseen as it appears. If you cling to the form, even the sweet form, you will fear losing it. If you behold source, you rest. Do you see? By your life experience, by the fruitage. One of our students woke to sirens and the clatter of voices. Habit reached for binoculars of imagination. Instead, she refused the bait. Arm of flesh, nothing, she said once, then listened. No pictures, no plots, no rehearsing. In the quiet that followed, she felt the simple withinness of I am. The sirens did not require her fear. The neighborhood did not require her narrative. Sleep returned the way tide returns unmanaged. Sure, if the problems are quickly and easily being solved, even the problem called anxiety at 3 a.m., then there is no question. Let the lexicon stay ready but sparse. Arm of flesh, hypnotism, appearance, nothingness. Say it once to prime the pump, then let presence declare itself. Perfect love casteth out fear, not perfect argument. And the instant you refuse to grant fear person, law, or substance, it collapses for want of a life. Be not afraid, it is I. That is enough. Let us make this beautifully simple, because spirit is simple. 2 stages only. Do little, listen much. First, the letter brief, conscious knowing. Second, the spirit, the listening ear. Words are only auxiliaries. We use 2 or 3 to prime the pump. Then we stop and let presence declare itself. Be still and know that I am God. Do you see? Stage 1, the letter at lights out. 2 or 3 sentences, no more. Clean, not clever. For example, omnipresence is the only presence. God the invisible appears as me. I and the Father are one. I rest in thy shadow. Thou art my dwelling. And stop. No embroidery. No explaining yourself to God. Take no thought for your life. You have primed the pump. The words have done their work. Now they must not interfere. Do you follow that? Stage 2, the spirit. 5 minutes of inner stillness. The listening ear. No agenda, no visualization, no counting breaths. Be still. Wait. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet and shut thy door. Shut the door on performance. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. Simply receive. You are not trying to make peace come. You are letting the isness announce itself. Lo, I am with you always, and in this always there is no hour called night that requires labor. Let a sentence float up if it comes of itself. Harmony is, or let there be only silence. Spirit completes what words begin. Your timing cues are gentle and exact. At lights out, letter then spirit. On any startle, a creak, a dream, a memory, say once, arm of flesh, nothingness, omnipresence is, and return at once to listening. If you wake in the night, do not take inventory. Do not bargain. One or two sentences, that which is. I and the Father are one. Then 5 quiet minutes of receptivity. No arguing with waves. The Master said, it is I. Be not afraid. Let I say itself. If you are called in a crisis, keep your conversation to its essence. I will help you. Stand by in consciousness, presence, not performance. Avoid platitudes to the suffering. Do not throw verses like stones. A bruised reed shall he not break. If a word is required, let it be kind and few. Then listen until the inner assurance says, it is finished. Perfect love, not perfect speech, casteth out fear. By your life experience, by the fruitage, expect quiet sleep. Expect a relaxed body, an undisturbed home. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. If rest returns like the tide unmanaged, sure, then realization has done its work. If not, the instruction is merciful and plain. Fewer words tomorrow, clearer listening, less defense. Letter, then spirit. Do little, listen much. And let the wing, which is the one, as you prove itself in the unargued peace of the night, Father, I do not reach out, I rest. I and the Father are one. I need not go anywhere, for the kingdom of God is within you. I rest within. I rest as what you are being, not by might nor by power. I yield to the presence that is. Be still, my heart, and know thou art my hiding place. I rest. God is manifest as individual being, God the invisible appearing as me, as this home, as this night, as the very breath that settles and the quiet that enfolds. In him we live and move and have our being. Not near, not alongside within, as one. I do not maintain this, I witness it. I do not produce it, I acknowledge it. The one lives its life as this I. I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth my life. I let it be so. Omnipresence is, love is, peace is. I am. Before Abraham was, I am. Not a person clinging to a verse. The I that is God's own appearing, saying, lo, I am with you always. Here, now, in this room, in this night, in this breath only, presence. No distance to cross, no wall to guard. I let be what already is. Harmony is, life is, love is, I am. Under thy wings I do not look up, I awaken within. He shall cover thee with his feathers, under his wings shalt thou trust. The wing is the one, is this very being. The shadow of the Almighty is the light that leaves no corner outside itself. I abide not by effort, but by isness. I am home in thee. Whatever parades as fear is the arm of flesh, nothingness, no person, no law, no substance, appearance only. Hypnotism seeking certification. I give it none. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. I see through it. Snake in the rope, the non-existent white poodle, streetcar tracks at the horizon. Nothing to fight, nothing to fix. It is I. Be not afraid. I say itself, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. I accept thy pleasure, Father, not as flattery to a self, but as truth to thy own appearing. As the Son is, so am I in this world. One life, one presence in that recognition. There is no second power to oppose, no second voice to answer. I am satisfied with thee, not by might, nor by power. I yield. I cease from man, from my own managing, from rehearsing, from bargaining. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet and shut thy door. The door is shut on technique. The ear is open to presence. Peace, be still. Peace is. Stillness is. I am. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. It is finished. Thou keepest Israel. Thou neither slumberest nor sleepest. I rest in what is. I stop now. Presence does the protecting. Now we are silent. Sit as you are, or lie as you are. No posture to perform. Let the body find its natural, alert ease, shoulders unburdened, jaw unhitched, hands at rest. No breath gimmicks. Breath will breathe itself. Eyes closed or soft, but the attention awake. You are not trying to get anywhere. You are not trying to make anything happen. You are consenting to what is. Be a listener, not a seeker of sensations, not a connoisseur of peace, not a manager of thoughts, a listener. If a sentence is needed to open the door, let it be this and only once. Be still and know that I am God. Then listen. No more speaking. Words have primed the pump. Now let them step aside. Do you see? Let the sense of the room widen without leaving your body. A single field of awareness, not many minds competing. One presence as this room, as these walls, as the night beyond the glass. No gap, no outside. God the invisible appearing as the visible. The wing not over you, but as you. You are not holding a perimeter. You are acknowledging the absence of perimeter. Omnipresence is the only presence. Let that be a felt simplicity rather than a sentence. Let the sense be, not the statement. If a thought rises, a plan, a replay, a small alarm, do not argue with it. No debate, no scripture duel, no cleverness. Note it with a quiet is and let it pass like mist that remembers it is mist. Is and gone. If a picture knocks for your attention, do not open the door. Let the knocking be heard and not answered. No shadow is corrected by wrestling. It vanishes in light unattended. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. Drop it. Return to listening. Now, notice the silence is not an absence. It is presence, not emptiness, fullness without edges. The bed is within it. The breath is within it. The sense of you is within it as its own appearing. In this, there is nothing left to oppose. The moment a second seems to rise, it is already dissolved for lack of law, lack of person, lack of substance. The arm of flesh cannot press upon what has no outside. Lo, I am with you always, felt here as unargued being, not as a phrase, harmony is, life is, love is, I am. Say nothing of it, let it say you. Remain like this, 5 quiet minutes, neither timing them nor hurrying them. You are not building safety. You are beholding that safety is the nature of the one. If sweetness comes, welcome it lightly. If nothing in particular comes, do not go fishing. Listening is enough. This is the secret place, the wing known from within. When you feel the impulse to close, let gratitude rise without words, the soft ascent of a heart satisfied. No benediction spoken, only the simple yield. It is. Then let sleep take you the way tide takes the shoreline, sure, gentle, inevitable within the realized presence under which and as which you rest. In this silence, omnipresence is self-evident. Nothing remains to oppose it. Now we look not at words, but at outcomes. By their fruits ye shall know them. By your life experience, by the fruitage. How shall you measure? Few are startled, soft awakenings without that rush of alarm, children sleeping through, untroubled and unworried, as if the house itself were breathing quietly. A felt ease in the bones, a continuity of rest, the absence of midnight checking and rechecking because something within has said, it is. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. These are the quiet evidences. No headlines in the soul, no drama to report, only the gentleness of presence proving itself. Do you see? If a disturbance comes, the rule is mercy and precision. Do not sprint to techniques. Do not stack phrases in panic as if more words could fence a yard that is already within the infinite. First, impersonalize arm of flesh nothingness. Then one clean sentence. Omnipresence is, I and the Father are one. It is I, be not afraid, and stop. Listen. No wrestling, no bargaining. Resist not evil. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. Drop it. Turn again to the isness and let presence announce itself. Often the fruit is immediate. A breath unwinds. A pulse settles. Sleep returns as a tide that remembers its shore. If not at once, it will yet be by the same simplicity letter, then spirit, tonight and tomorrow, until steadiness is the new normal. Guard yourself against craving fireworks. Do not measure by sensations, by warmth in the hands, by lights behind the eyes, by vivid phenomena that tease the senses. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. The sign of realization is peace, not spectacle. Elijah found the holy not in wind, not in earthquake, not in fire, but in a still small voice. Chase that stillness, not excitement. Do you follow that? Excitement will leave you hungry again. Peace will carry you like a slow, sure river through the night and into the day. Carry the same awareness into the morning. The wing does not fold at dawn. Lo, I am with you alway, not till sunrise, but alway. Let breakfast be taken in the same presence. Let the commute be made in the same isness. A sentence to prime the pump. I and the Father are 1 in 5 quiet minutes of listening before the day begins. You will find that as you cease from man and behold source, unseeing both human evil and human good, the day arranges itself with less friction. The fruit will show as patience, unforced decisions that make themselves, and a softness in your dealings that did not come from effort but from identity realized. This is not a lazy man's work. A little every night, faithfully, without strain, words few, listening much, no bravado, no spiritual athletics. Over days and weeks, a sea change appears, fewer alarms, undisturbed children, a home that feels like a sanctuary without sentries. By your life experience, by the fruitage, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Not stayed on sentences, stayed on thee. I will help you. I will stand by in consciousness when called. That is my whole conversation. I will help you. You see, the night is as safe as the one, and the one is the only presence. Let peace, continuity, and quiet outcomes, not words, prove that you rest under the wing, which, in truth, is the one appearing as you.